Saddle up, partner, because today, in Satisfactory, we're drilling for oil. That's right, black gold Texas tea. We're about to have a hoedown. Let's visit the old saloon and take a sip of the old sarsaparilla. Select milestone. Control click, draw. Sucker, are you yellow? No, that's clearly red. Oil processing. Milestone
reached.
unlocked.
Oil acquisition and refining unlocked.
Uh-huh.
Oil-based products can now be made.
Sweet.
The byproducts of oil refinement can be used after further processing, as seen in the refinery.
All right, so we have some new things, or we should anyway. So probably in production. Oil extractor. We're gonna have to look for some oil. We should be able to scan for it now. And that takes stuff we're already making. We also have the refinery to make byproducts. Crude oil. Where are you? Not nearby, which is not unexpected. Bang. Okay, we got a bang. Where's the bang? On the other side of the mountain, probably 900 meters. 1,000 meters. All right there, Bessie, giddy up. Let's see if we can locate the resources that we just scanned for. Oh, that's a noisy engine. And maybe we'll wander up the ramp and use the cliff to see if we can circumnavigate a little bit. We should be able, although, you know what? I think there might be a belt in our way. Maybe I can drive around it. I'm not really sure, having never driven up here before. Maybe I go around. Yeah, that should work. Okay, no problems. And maybe, I'm not sure, do we think that a tractor could be used to deliver supplies up on here? That sounds like a bad idea, like it's gonna fall off or something. That sounds like a disaster. Waiting to, yeah, case in point. Old Bessie seems to have thrown a shoe, and the nearest blacksmith isn't for miles. Tarnation. What are we to do? Actually, we're just around the corner from the base. There's the space elevator. Let's scan again. Crude oil. Where is it going to be? Oh, it's right there. 270 meters. The ones that were technically closer are over there, but they're on the other side of the mountain, it seems like. Meanwhile, are those dark patches, is that what I'm looking at? Is that the crude oil? Oh, there's 4. Okay, how are we going to get old Bessie down the cliff? I don't think we're going to. There's some hoodlums up to no good. I said draw. Bam! That's right. I'm a sharpshooter around these parts. Fastest draw in the north. I think we're in the north part of the map. Okay, you're coming right at me. And you're dead. Ooh, and it glistens in the sun. We have an impure crude oil node. Crude oil normal. Then there is crude oil normal. And over here, one more. What's this one? Crude oil impure. 2 impures and 2 normals. That should do for our start-up oil production area. So we've got 4 of these oil pockets, 2 normal and 2 impure. We're going to pipe up the oil with these oil extractors. The normal ones pipe up 120 cubic meters a minute, and the impure, like this one, do 60. There's 2 products that I think we want to make from the oil to start off, and they are going to get made in these giant guys. These are oil refiners. So we're going to make some plastic out of the crude oil, and we're also going to get a fluid output heavy oil residue. We're also going to make rubber, and same thing from the heavy oil, and then we get heavy oil residue. And if either of these fills up and doesn't have an output, then the whole process will shut down. So we need to make sure both of them keep flowing. So we're going to take that heavy oil residue, we're going to send it to some extra of these refiners. And we're going to transform that into petroleum coke, which we don't really have a use for as far as I can tell. But what we can do is put that on a belt and send it to an awesome sink just to get rid of it so the process never shuts down. Now we've got 2 normal and 2 impure, which is 360. So I think what we'll do, just to keep it simple, is split them in half. 180 cubic meters of oil a minute for plastic and 180 cubic meters a minute for rubber. So after doing a little bit of math, if we split our oil between plastic and rubber, that means we're going to need 6 refineries for plastic, 6 for rubber, and then an additional 5 for the coke, and then also the awesome sink to eat the coke. And then also, we're going to need 2 of those truck stops for the tractors to come and pick the stuff up. We got to figure out how the tractors are going to get back. I think what we'll try to do is use this little gap in the rocks there. I'll have to make a small ramp. I want to avoid making giant ramps and stuff. I'm going to delete all this madness. But this is basically, that spot right there is the most minimal spot I can find for making a truck route and not just using a belt to get things all the way back. So we're going to try to get the tractors through there. So here is basically, it's like playing Tetris or something. It's a spatial puzzle. I laid out 6 of these guys. That takes up 3 by 10, more or less. And so I'm just trying to find a spot where we can put 3 by 10 and then another 3 by 10 and then another 3 by 10, basically. We need 30 by 10 or 3 by 10s in some configuration that makes sense and is relatively close to these guys. And then we also need, in addition to that, a spot for the tractor pickup spot where the tractors can come and turn around, and we need room for 2 of them. And so it's complicated. And I think maybe here might be the best idea. Let's go back up to this ramp real quick. Look at it from up in the air. Oh, okay, I fell too far. Yeah. If we run up here and just look at it from above, it's always a good way to see if something is going to fit or not, and just lay out some platforms. That is right now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That right there is 10. Okay, so we would need triple that. All right, here's one option. Oil and rubber, and then coke somewhere else, I guess. I'm trying to keep this big thoroughfare relatively clean for future routes and trucks and trains and stuff, so I want to tuck things back into these hills as much as possible. It might work, but it's not really calling my name. Doesn't look cool. Oh hey, that works a little bit better. Before I laid this out, I didn't think this would work. I didn't think we'd have room. I thought it would over-project into this lane I'm trying to keep open, but no, it seems to work pretty nicely. We're wrapping around this boulder thing, and we are playing off the width of this even bigger boulder, so it works better with the terrain. I think that's a pretty good direction. So, next thing to work on is to find the level of the floor that the refiners will sit on, and we can't have this rock showing, so I'm just going to stack these thinnest of the foundations until we get above that, which seems to be the only place where the terrain is intruding. Or protruding, something like that. One of those. Yeah, okay, so that looks good. Next, I'm just going to replace the foundation with these thin ones, and then we'll build our support structure downward, because we don't live in a real world. It's just a video game where things float, but I don't want them to look like they float. Boom! 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 So, fast forward a few hours, and I've hooked pretty much everything up. Everything's on one network. It's all connected to power lines. It's not connected to the main network, but as soon as I'm ready, we can plug it in. Next thing to do is to place the truck stations. Gonna place one ideally here and one here, but we got this weird coral plant tree thing. I don't know, whatever that is. And that has got to go. So it's time to clean up a little bit. Time to do a little trimming. Can I cut you down? You give me mycelia or something else? Maybe you give me something I've never seen. Silica. Oh, that's interesting. I guess that kind of makes sense. It also gave me mycelia, like it's a mushroom coral. Huh, interesting. Oh, there's some fruit. Give me that. All right, that takes care of that. We may as well plug the whole thing in and make sure everything works before we set up the tractors, and I finish with the cosmetic stuff. I went all around the world, everything I've built, I added up all the machines and how much power they pull. And if every single one of my machines that I have in the world, for all the different bases and whatnot, outposts, whatever, if all of those are operating all at once, then my power consumption is going to be 2.6 gigawatts. And my coal power plants way over there only provide 2.4. So we're going to have to be careful about that and just pay attention. Keep an eye on it. And probably the next thing we'd want to unlock then would be the next power generation option, which I think is the fuel generators. If we can do that, we might have to get the manufacturers next, which lets us automate the production of items that take 3 or 4 ingredients instead of just 1 or 2, which we can currently do. All right, let's just go do a quick little check here. All right, they're pumping the crude. Crude is getting pumped. Can I see that one getting operated? The light is green, so it must... Oh, okay, whoa, it was on fire. Light's green, and I see fire, so that's probably a pretty good sign. All right, so those guys can lift a fluid, the oil, up to 10 meters. These foundations are 4 meters. I think that's a little bit less than 10. Over time, if that seems to be a problem, then we'll just keep an eye on it. These guys can lift an additional 20. That should be less than 20. And I haven't put the staircases and stuff around, so we're going to have to jump onto this platform. Yep. After everything's working and whatnot, then we will worry about the cosmetic stuff. We don't have oil over here yet. All right, let's just let's walk it on down. Let's see if everything's connected. Oh, that's the output, that's why. That's the output. This is the input side. But we're still not getting oil just yet. It might just take a while to fill up. Yeah, okay, we are getting a little bit there. And we're getting a little bit there. 18.5 out of 18.5. We're getting 180 per minute. 130 per minute. Okay, now it's filling up. Alright, that's good. So there is some in the pipe. Let's check again. Alright, we are now getting plastic. There it goes. Alright, so all the plastic is on this side. And it goes down and gets loaded into that truck guy right there. And then the other byproduct is this guy, the heavy oil residue. It goes in this pipe. And it goes all the way around, and it combines with the residue from the rubber. There's the rubber on the belt. Okay, so that seems to be working. Oh, okay, a little bit of lag. Whoop. So, all that stuff needs to continue going down the belt, and then all the residue is going to come down here and get turned into coke and get inserted into these awesome sinks. And with just the amount of rubber and plastic we are generating, if both of those are going full speed, then we're going to be generating 2 full tier 3 belts of coke all at once, which is going to take actually 2 different awesome sinks, which is kind of funny. So I guess as long as we keep using that stuff, our global coupon generation is going to be consistent at least. So we have 2 additional truck stops on this side of the base, or over by the base, I guess I should say. By the other truck stop we had. Does that count as being underneath? Looks like it does. But I will move forward just a bit so that we start our recording directly underneath. I had to move, oops, I had to move part of the ramp that I had used to drive up to the cliff previously. I will probably rebuild it just in a slightly different position because it was kind of handy. Here we go. So we'll just start off right away, and I'll put a pause at the end, because at that point I'll have a payload and I'll know how long it takes for the station to unload what we got. I had to build this ramp slash bridge slash path through the mountains here. There are little gaps between those rocks, but they're much too narrow for for one of these guys, and then if they happen to run into each other when they're going opposite directions, then that might end up being trouble. I'm just gonna go a little slow through here, because I want to make sure that when it's on autopilot, it's not going to like run right off the edge or whatever. Try to make sure that the tractors, their path will only overlap when the two different tractors are going in the same direction. So it shouldn't be a problem of them colliding with each other or whatever. I'm not sure exactly what would happen if we did that. Might have to test it at some point. And we will pick up our payload here, a closer one. And stop. Okay, there we go. So, on the way back, I think I'll go around this rock. Oh, okay, hit the terrain there a little bit. That's probably fine. Just as long as I don't, like, fall off this ramp. And we don't overlap our arrows going different directions. It's probably going to be fine. Yeah, that works out all right. And then back around, easy dozer. Then we just come back here and pause. Unloading. And wait for that to finish with the... There it goes. Okay, now it should be done. And we just say finish recording. There we go. And now it should be set to autopilot automatically. Unless I have to enable autopilot. Oh, active auto. Yeah, I do. Okay, enable that. There you go. So let's just, let's get right to it and let's start the next one. Start recording. And first thing I want to do is sort of get out of the way of where that other one will be parked. And then just do the same thing again, more or less. Alright, there goes our buddy. Transporting rubber. Honk honk. Oh, we have a horn. We can beep at them. Out of the way. Coming through. Alright, pretty straightforward. Now we're picking up the plastic. Stop right there. Wait for the bar to finish with the loading. I guess it takes 2 of those full animations. All right, good enough. Get out of the way of the other one who will be parked there. And then follow the arrows. All right, there goes the plastic. We're almost done. As soon as that unloading is finished. Okay, lovely. Then we finish recording. And we enable autopilot. And I get out of the truck. I guess you can tell if the autopilot is on when you're not in the vehicle if the engine is still running. When I got out the first time, the engine turned off. And now it is making noise. So here's where the belts go. They are stacked on top of the coal right there. And let me get on top of them, actually, so I can run along the belts. Yep. Alright, so they track all the way back to where all our other resources are getting lifted up into the base. I think we've got 8 now. We've got iron ingots, copper ingots, steel ingots, concrete, plastic, rubber, crystals, and caterium ingots. 8 different things getting lifted up into the base. Hooray! Oh yeah, we can paint the pipes. Alright, so maybe we should have separate presets for the different types of things going through the pipes. We've got water over by the coal power plants. We've got oil here. And then there's also the residual oil. I guess that'll be a different color. And then I think we're going to have fuel. So that's at least 4. Maybe down here in the corner, we'll just start here. And we'll make that, I like that kind of green color for the buildings. But for the pipes themselves, maybe something closer to icky, gloopy tar. I don't know what the off color is going to be. There we go. That'll be our oil pipe thing. And as we make bigger and... Oh, you didn't change. Hey, use this one. Select. As we make bigger and more complex builds with multiple pipes and different liquids and stuff, it might be kind of handy to have some color coding going on. Also, I kind of like this green for the oil well stuff. And I'm probably going to change the color for the main base like a million more times. So we should probably give that one a preset too. Maybe we'll put that above the oil pipe one. And just try to match this. Can we see the numbers? 121.2. Yeah, I can copy them over. I can't directly copy paste. But I can more or less try to reproduce it. 120. I wonder if I can type in numbers here. Oh, I can't. Oh, okay. That's no big deal then. 121 and I think 0.2. No, obviously not. Edit. 121.2. That is what it was. I must not have copied it properly. Edit. Oh, I guess I didn't confirm. I didn't save my progress. 121 0.2. Bam. Why is that a totally different color? What? It doesn't make any sense. 121.2. Edit. 121.2. They're not even remotely the same. What? Okay, now I switch back and they're all set to 0. This doesn't make any sense. Okay, so typing in the numbers turns out I think it's not doing anything. It's a buggy early access kind of dealio. Hey, don't worry about it. It's early access. Hey, look at that. Color coding. 2 different pipes, 2 different things. Crude oil, residual oil. Looks pretty good. And the water pipes look like they've got water in them. Pretty cool. I'm not 100% on the color for the water pipes, but I can just change all of them all at once just by editing the preset. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. We got 8 different ingredients being lifted up into the base now. Next time we'll start working, I guess, on computers and circuit boards and all that kind of stuff with our new shiny oil byproducts, and we'll start working towards our next power solution, because power is going to become a problem once again. But that's going to do it for this episode. See you later. Take it easy. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Where am I going? I'm going down here.